We have breaking news coming out of New York City. Major and Warjanowski of ESPN reporting that the Knicks have agreed with David Fizdale to make him the team's latest head coach. Fizdale spent parts of 2 seasons on the Grizzlies sidelines before being fired just 19 games into this past year. Caron Butler, Mike Fratello, Jared Greenberg, and a guy you know well from your Miami days, David Fizdale, replacing Jeff Hornacek, who was fired after this season by the Knicks.
Yeah, I'm happy for him. You know, Coach Fizz, a great person. You know, obviously on the sidelines and away from the sidelines. You know, I think he, embodied all the right things that's, good about the sport and the game. And just to see him, be appointed to this position, I knew they had a handful of people to choose from, but for him to be the guy, I think that's special. And salute, man. Congratulations.
This was the right-hand guy to Eric Spoelstra, a gentleman who I think the players respected immensely. He has great communication skills. Forget the basketball mind and X's and O's, okay? He's really good at that. But he has communication skills where the players understand what he expects of them. I think he has a great handle on what the players are going through and what their thought process is, and he's able to communicate that. He'll be very successful. New York picked a very, very good man as their head coach. And most importantly, we got him the hell out of this communication field. He was doing too good.
Yeah, man, he got that voice, that tone low thing going on, man. He was filling up the seat.
Yeah. Now, it also gives us a little bit of a sneak peek into the dynamic of the Knicks front office, right? You got Steve Mills, who's the president, former general manager, and he's got Scott Perry, who you know from your Sacramento days, and it maybe shows you that Perry and Mills come to the decision together rather than Steve Mills just maybe picking a guy that many thought he would pick, like a David Blatt, who he had ties to going back to his college days.
Yeah, and, they came together, what you touched on, and they probably met at a meeting and just said, you know what, look, this is a guy that probably was prematurely let go from his last situation, and he possessed so many great qualities. And Coach, you had touched on, he's a leader. He's a leader of men. He's a guy that's well respected in the coaching circle and amongst the players. And we need someone that's young and that's energized and ready to take on this challenge. And, he fits all those qualities.
They could not afford, it's almost like the Cleveland Browns in the first pick in the NFL draft. They couldn't afford to make a mistake. Okay, there's too much ride
Set
on
them
this.
back, yeah.
And the Knicks needed, not saying that Jeff Hornacek didn't do a good job with injuries he had and everything else, but the guy that they brought in has to bring a culture in. All right, what they're bringing in is Pat Riley's culture from when he was with the Knicks years ago. Okay, and then Eric Spoelstra under Riley, Fizdale under Eric Spoelstra. They're looking long term. That's what they have to do. They have to build the foundation solid so that Porzingis, some of these young guys, whoever they're going to wind up with this year, understand that this is how we do it here in New York. And that's how we're going to move forward. And now they have to stay with what they're planning, what they're talking about with their new head coach.
And remember, Porzingis, who is certainly the future of this franchise, may miss up to half the season, if not more, as he recovers from a torn ACL. So you truly do need a development guy to work with some of the other draft picks they've had in the last couple of years to figure out who they have and what their identity is.
Yeah, and I was waiting for this decision because what you just touched on, obviously Porzingis is going to take some time to get back to 100%. But you look at the draft situation and who's coming in. You want to have a coach in place for free agency and further on. So,
who's a free agent this year? Anybody have any ideas?
Ooh.
Anybody good?
Mr. LeBron James.
Don't start bad rumors.
Listen, I'm not starting a rumor, but this will be started within moments with the ties. Remember how upset LeBron was when David Fizdale got let go from Memphis?
Yeah, I think him and Dwayne Wade was like two of the first guys to speak on the case. And, obviously I threw my little 2 cents on the fire that was already burning, and I'm pretty sure you said some too, Coach. But, it was one of those things. And, everybody in the basketball community is just, happy to see him, in this position.
Good move by here. The Knicks, who had a thorough search, right?
Can you say that again?
Thorough search?
No, good move by the Knicks. We haven't heard that in a while. Like, good move by the Knicks.